Have you ever wondered how Ant-Man shrinks down to the size of an insect, yet still packs a punch like a heavyweight boxer? It's a question that blends the fantastic world of comic books with some truly mind-bending scientific concepts. Today, we're diving deep into the science of shrinking, exploring the unbelievable origin of one of Marvel's most unique heroes. Get ready, because things are about to get very, very small. The story of Ant-Man isn't just about a guy in a fancy suit. It begins with a brilliant yet troubled scientist, Dr. Hank Pym. Long before Scott Lang ever put on the helmet, Hank Pym was a pioneer in biochemistry and quantum physics. He was a man driven by ambition, but also haunted by personal tragedy, the loss of his first wife. Maria, in a political incident, deeply scarred him. This profound loss fueled his work, pushing him to create something that could change the world, to prevent such tragedies from ever happening again. He wasn't trying to make a super suit. He was chasing a breakthrough that could reshape humanity's future. His initial goal was surprisingly not about shrinking. Pym was on a quest for new forms of energy. He theorized that by manipulating the very fabric of reality at a subatomic level, he could unlock untold power. He delved into the strange and unpredictable world of quantum mechanics, a realm where the normal rules of physics simply don't apply. It was during these ambitious and frankly dangerous experiments that he stumbled upon something completely unexpected. He discovered a rare group of subatomic particles that had an incredible property. They could alter the distance between atoms. He named them, quite fittingly, the Pym Particles. This was the eureka moment. Pym realized these particles weren't a new energy source, but something far more revolutionary. They were the key to size manipulation. By applying these particles, he could either increase or decrease the space between the atoms of an object, effectively making it grow or shrink. Imagine taking a beaded necklace. The beads are the atoms, and the string is the space between them. Pym particles could either shorten that string, pulling all the beads closer together, or lengthen it, pushing them farther apart. This was the birth of the technology that would eventually power the Ant-Man suit. But here's where it gets even crazier. When an object shrinks using Pym particles, where does its mass go? If you shrink a 180-pound man down to the size of an ant, shouldn't he weigh as much as an ant? Logically, yes. But Hank Pym's discovery defied that logic. He found that the mass of the shrinking object didn't just disappear. Instead, it was shunted into an alternate dimension, a pocket of space-time he called the Kosmos Dimension. This is the secret to Ant-Man's super strength. When he shrinks, his mass is compressed, but his density increases exponentially. All the force of a full-grown man is concentrated into a single ant-sized fist. That's why he can send a regular-sized person flying with one tiny punch. He's not just small. He's a tiny, dense human bullet. The implications were staggering. Hank Pym held in his hands a power that could revolutionize espionage, construction, medicine, you name it. But he also saw the immense danger. What if this technology fell into the wrong hands? Haunted by his past and wary of how humanity might misuse his discovery, Pym made a fateful decision. He decided to keep the Pym particle formula a secret. He believed it was too powerful, too world-altering to be unleashed. This decision set him on a complex path. He couldn't just bury his discovery. The potential for good was too great, but he couldn't share it freely either, so he decided to become its sole guardian. And how does a scientist guard a secret of this magnitude? By becoming a superhero, of course. Pym developed a specialized helmet that allowed him to communicate with and control ants, leveraging their numbers and collective strength. Combining this with his size-altering suit, he became the original Ant-Man. He wasn't a soldier or a god. He was a scientist trying to do the right thing, using his incredible intellect to solve problems that were too big or too small for anyone else. His early adventures were a mix of classic superheroics and scientific exploration, often battling villains who sought to steal his technology for their own nefarious purposes. Think about it. A shrinking spy could infiltrate any fortress. A growing giant could stop an army. The military and corporate interests were relentless in their pursuit of his secret. This constant pressure took a toll on Hank. His personal life became increasingly complicated. His relationship with Janet Van Dyne, the Wasp, was a roller coaster of partnership and conflict. The weight of his secret, combined with the stress of his superhero life and his pre-existing emotional vulnerabilities, led to periods of instability. He created the artificial intelligence Ultron with the noble intention of protecting the world, but it backfired spectacularly, creating one of the Avengers' deadliest foes. This failure haunted him for years, adding another layer to his tragic character arc. He was a man who wanted to save the world, but his own creations often threatened to destroy it. This internal struggle is what makes Hank Pym such a fascinating figure. He's not a flawless hero. He's a brilliant but deeply flawed human being who grappled with the immense responsibility of his own genius. His decision to pass the mantle of Ant-Man to Scott Lang wasn't just about finding a successor. It was an acknowledgement of his own limitations. He saw in Scott a chance for a fresh start, someone who could wield the power of Ant-Man without the baggage that he himself carried. Scott, an ex-con trying to be a better father, had a different kind of motivation, a simpler, more personal one. Pym mentored him, guiding him not just in how to use the suit, but in how to be a hero. So, the next time you see Ant-Man shrink down and ride an ant into battle, remember the incredible story behind it. It's not just magic. It's a tale born from tragedy, fueled by scientific genius, and defined by a man's struggle to control a power he never intended to create. The science of Pym Particles may be fictional, but the human story of Hank Pym, of ambition, loss, and the burden of creation is as real as it gets. It's a reminder that sometimes the biggest ideas come in the smallest packages. What do you think is the most interesting part of Ant-Man's origin? The science, the personal drama, or his connection to the ants? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more explorations into the incredible worlds of our favorite heroes. See you next time.